Everyone complains about $70 games, but let's be honest, most wouldn't be worth 20. Too much hype, empty promises, inflated reviews. So I decided to do what no sane person would. I bought almost every major PS5 release to find out which ones actually deserve full price. My credit card cried, but every cent was worth it. If you're new here, welcome to the Play Hunters channel. If you can subscribe and help us reach 50,000, I'd be thrilled from one gamer to another. And before we start, tell me in the comments, what was the last game that made you think, yeah, that was worth every penny? Because today, we're gonna find out which ones really are. Elden Ring isn't just a game, it's a ritual. You start thinking you'll explore a pretty map and end up crossing a world that watches you, tests you, and devours you whole. Every step feels like a choice between courage and madness. When the wind sweeps through the plains and the music fades, the silence speaks louder than any dialogue, and in that silence you realize how small you are before something immense. The magic lies in pain and persistence. Every enemy is a lesson, every death a reminder that nothing comes easy. You feel the weight of your shield, the delay of your dodge, the heartbeat before a final strike, and when victory finally comes, it's not triumph, it's catharsis. The kind that makes you drop the controller, laugh, and sit there in disbelief, still shaking. The world is tragic poetry made of ash and glory. The ruins whisper of fallen kings, forgotten gods, and promises turned to dust. Everything breathes beauty and decay at once. You don't walk, you pilgrimage. The deeper you go, the more you dig into your own obsession. It's impossible to play without feeling something stir inside. Elden Ring reminds you why video games can still be art. Not through technique, but through impact. When you defeat that impossible boss, the music swells and your whole body chills. It's brutal, spiritual, unforgettable. When it ends, there's no relief, just emptiness. Because all you want is to begin again, worth every penny and every scar it leaves. God of War Ragnarök is a punch to the chest disguised as a game. From the first second, you feel the world about to end. But the real war happens inside Kratos. The weight of his past, the struggle to be a better father, the guilt for all he's destroyed. Every line drips with tension, every silence feels ready to explode. It's a story about pain told with haunting beauty. The battles are violent poetry. The Leviathan axe cuts the air with terrifying weight, while the blades of chaos scream memories he tries to forget. Switching weapons feels like shifting emotion, rage, calm, despair. Every strike lands with meaning, every enemy a physical and emotional trial. When the boss finally falls, you don't cheer, you breathe, exhausted, as if you survived something greater than you. The realms are more than settings. They're emotions painted across the map. Midgard is melancholy, Vanaheim is life refusing to die, and Asgard is arrogance waiting to crumble. Every corner holds a story, a memory, a wound. Side quests aren't distractions, they're conversations with the past. Characters you thought you knew reveal fragility, humanity, and sometimes regret. Ragnarök is about breaking cycles, about trying to change in a world that only knows destruction. It's the end of a saga and the start of a legacy. Every scene reminds you that even gods bleed, and real strength isn't in raising your weapon, it's in lowering it. When the screen fades to black and the music swells, you just know it was worth every cent, because few stories feel this human within the impossible. Ninja Gaiden 4 doesn't ask for patience, it demands respect. From the first encounter, it throws you against ruthless enemies and a combat system that punishes hesitation. The speed is insane, the rhythm nearly inhuman. Every move must be exact, every dodge timed to the millisecond. It's pure chaos forged into martial art. Combat is a dance of reflex and instinct. Weapons have weight, reach, and tempo, and mastering them feels like learning real fighting styles. One slip and you're dead. But when everything clicks, when you slash, spin, and finish untouched, the surge of power is unmatched. It's technique and adrenaline in perfect balance. The environments mix tradition and modernity. Ancient temples hidden among skyscrapers, villages burning under fog and flame. Even the setting feels like a challenge, trapping you in tight arenas or treacherous ledges that test reflex and nerve. Every space is built to keep you on edge, and that's what makes it addictive. Pain and satisfaction walk side by side here. Ninja Gaiden 4 is proof that difficulty, when done right, is its own language. It's not punishment, it's discipline. When the battle ends and the screen freezes, you don't feel anger, you feel pride. Because victory isn't about clearing a level, it's about conquering yourself. And that kind of triumph, that's full price with change to spare. Demon's Souls is more than the start of a legendary franchise. It's a lesson in defeat, patience, and reward. From your first step, it immerses you in a cold, broken world where every shadow breathes and every echo feels alive. You're not a hero, just someone trying to survive among monsters and memories. With every corridor, tension grows, and courage is measured by how far you keep going. Combat is cruel and precise. Every swing carries weight and rhythm, and one mistake can cost everything. It doesn't teach through tutorials, it teaches through pain. You're forced to observe, learn, and respect every enemy. When the boss finally falls, you don't scream, you collapse. It's relief, not triumph, pride born of endurance. The world is melancholic beauty incarnate. Collapsing cathedrals, suffocating forests, dungeons lit by whispering fire. 3D sound makes every footstep echo, and the DualSense seems to share your fear. There's beauty in the suffering, and a strange joy in exploring a cursed land. Everything is built to break you and keep you coming back. Demon's Souls is worth every cent because it doesn't try to please, it tries to prove something. It shows that value comes from the intensity of the journey, not the ease of success. Every death is a lesson, every victory a new scar. What remains isn't just memory, it's respect. Few games make you feel the weight of persistence quite like this. Astro Bot is the complete opposite of pain and frustration. It's pure joy, packed into a world that sings, laughs, and vibrates with energy. From the first moment, it reminds you why you ever picked up a controller. It's a love letter to gaming's history, especially PlayStation's, but with a light-hearted charm that wins over even total newcomers. Everything is built to make you smile without realizing it. Every level feels like a wild idea that somehow worked. You jump, glide, swim, fly, and feel everything through the controller. The DualSense becomes an extension of the world. You feel the wind, the steps, the slide of wet ground. When rain hits and the triggers react, it convinces you you're touching another dimension. It's magic, every second of it. The worlds burst with creativity. One minute you're inside a giant console, the next you're fighting bosses made of circuit parts or surfing through oceans of pixels. Each stage is a playground with its own soul, a mix of nostalgia and innovation that keeps you hooked. It's beautiful, chaotic, and full of heart. Astro Bot proves that simplicity can still be astonishing. Astro Bot delivers something rare, genuine happiness. It's not about realism or graphics, it's about joy. It reminds you that games are also play and don't need to be serious to be unforgettable. When you finish and realize you're smiling for no reason, it clicks. This is the kind of game that justifies its price with emotion. Dying Light, the beast promises to turn chaos into pure survival. The city feels alive, pulsing with fear and desperation at every corner. Sunlight is your only ally, and once it fades, the world shifts tone. Stronger, faster, and crueler creatures emerge from the shadows, and adrenaline takes over. It's a constant race between courage and the instinct to run. Parkour is the game's beating heart. Sprinting across rooftops, climbing towers, and turning the environment into a weapon make you feel freedom and danger in equal measure. Every jump is a gamble. One mistake could cost your life. Combat is brutal and physical, and landing that final crushing blow feels almost primal. There's no rest, just a relentless flow of tension. The atmosphere drips with decay. Burning streets, blood-red skies, and distant screams paint a picture of despair. Yet even in the ruins, flashes of humanity remain. Brief encounters that remind you why it's still worth fighting. Every decision carries weight. Every choice leaves a scar that echoes to the end. It's a hell that traps you through the realism of its pain. Dying Light, the beast, earns its price by delivering what few dare to, unrelenting intensity. It's not here to comfort you, it's here to challenge you. The city is your enemy, time is your enemy, even silence conspires against you. But within that chaos lies beauty. When the sun rises and you're still alive, it feels like absolute victory. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is every superhero fan's dream come to life. From your first swing between skyscrapers, it feels perfect, fast, fluid, and full of emotion. The game doesn't start, it throws you right into the action, with Peter and Miles sharing the mantle naturally. Everything moves with cinematic precision and blockbuster pacing. Combat is pure choreography. Punches, dodges, and powers blend into seamless, high-energy spectacle. The new suits, the symbiote, and dual abilities make every encounter a visual thrill. You can't help but grin as the world reacts to your movements. You feel both the power of being a hero and the burden that comes with it. The city itself is a living character. Denser, livelier, more human than ever. New York breathes by day and hums at night, full of stories, side missions, and life. Every casual encounter, every gust of wind between buildings adds to the illusion. And when the music swells, it's pure chills. Spider-Man 2 delivers something rare. Power and vulnerability, hand in hand. The story hits hard, the villains carry weight, and quiet moments shine just as bright as the action. It's a game that reminds you what being a hero truly means, not by winning, but by refusing to stop fighting. A spectacle of heart, motion, and soul. Cyberpunk 2077 has finally become what it always promised to be, a brutal, mesmerizing dive into a future gone wrong. Night City isn't just a setting, it's a living beast that watches, tempts, and destroys. Its neon lights hide filth and fear in every alley. You don't play in this world, you survive through it, bartering with shadows and sins for one more chance to breathe. The revamped combat system turns you into a walking weapon. Cybernetic abilities, melee strikes, hacking, and stealth blend into a rhythm that's addictive and deadly. Nothing is automatic. Every fight has countless solutions. You craft your own chaos, whether with a glowing katana or a smirk as implants explode around you. Freedom never felt so dangerous. The city is a distorted masterpiece. Flashing lights, screaming billboards, and broken people clinging to sanity under collapsing ideals. Side quests feel like entire stories, with characters more human than most real ones. Every conversation leaves a mark, every decision takes its toll, and when it's over, you realize there are no happy endings, only consequences. Cyberpunk 2077 is worth every cent because it makes you feel alive in a dying world. It's raw, human, and deeply personal. Each choice forces you to wonder whether you're still yourself or just another product of the city. And when the sun rises through the smoke between towers, you understand this is what redemption in gaming looks like. Devil May Cry 5 is pure style in motion. Every slash a dance, every fight a heavy metal concert. From the first second, chaos erupts and the game dares you to master the impossible. It's fast, precise, and unapologetically insane, and it knows it. Combat is a symphony of destruction. Switching weapons, chaining combos, and keeping rhythm amidst the chaos feels like art. Every battle is a performance, every victory an invisible ovation. The game doesn't want you to survive, it wants you to shine. When that SS rank flashes on screen, it feels like headlining a concert of fire and fury. The visuals border on surreal. Grotesque demons, collapsing environments, and shimmering particles swirl together in controlled madness. Every frame pulses with energy, every step with attitude. Transitions between gameplay and cutscenes are so fluid it feels like a movie, only louder, faster, and far more stylish. Devil May Cry 5 is worth its price because it's pure joy in motion. It doesn't sell promises, it delivers power. The controller becomes an extension of your body, and the music an extension of your soul. When everything explodes in color and metal and laughter, you realize video games can be pure spectacle. The Last of Us Part 2 is an open wound told with the grace of someone who knows how much remembering can hurt. From the start, it forces you into choices that scar but never feel fake. The story is raw, intimate, and painfully human. There are no heroes or villains, only broken people surviving in a world that's forgotten what right even means. Combat is brutally honest. Every hit, every arrow, every shot feels heavy with emotion. The violence makes you hesitate. Fights aren't just physical, they're moral. You feel guilt, rage, exhaustion. Every gasp, creak, and breath draws you deeper into the discomfort of its realism. The environments tell their own stories. Empty houses speak without words, and the streets of Seattle bleed memories. Every detail, a note, a photo, a scrawled message, makes you stop and feel the weight of what's been lost. It's hauntingly beautiful, framed like a film, but felt like grief. The Last of Us Part 2 doesn't want to entertain. It wants to make you feel. It challenges your empathy, your morality, and even your sense of justice. When the credits roll, you don't know if you've won or lost, only that you lived something unforgettable. And in a sea of forgettable stories, that's priceless. Senua's sacrifice is a journey through both mind and hell. It traps you inside the head of a warrior haunted by voices, doubt, and memories that blur into visions. There's no HUD, no tutorials, only sound, breath, and movement. You don't just control Senua, you become her. That's what makes it extraordinary. Binaural audio turns walking into terror. The voices whisper, argue, and deceive as you push forward. The camera's closeness makes every glance unsettlingly intimate. Its vulnerability made tangible, like the game is staring back at you. Combat is tense and symbolic. It's not about defeating enemies, but confronting inner demons. Each fight is resistance, each victory, a fleeting spark of hope amid the madness. Even failure feels deliberate, forcing reflection instead of punishment. The line between sanity and despair has never been thinner. Hellblade is worth every cent because it doesn't aim to entertain, it aims to consume you. It's pain turned into art, introspection forged in steel. When the credits roll, the silence that follows is deafening. You don't know if you've conquered or fallen, only that you'll never forget. And that kind of impact, no price tag can define it. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the kind of game that makes you forget you're playing. From the first sunset, the world feels alive, horses tire, snow buries old trails, and people react like they've got a soul. Every conversation, every silence between gunshots, every guilty glance builds something bigger than a Western. It's about time, choices, and the cost of living with them. The story is a mountain of emotion. One minute you're laughing around the campfire, the next the past catches up hard. Every mission carries weight, every decision feels final, and the world answers to what you do or what you fail to do. It's a melancholic portrait of a man searching for redemption in a place where it barely exists. Immersion is absurd. Wind whispers through the controller, your horse responds to terrain, even the squeak of wet leather feels real. Towns have life, details have soul, and every corner hides a story. It's the kind of game where you stop to stare at the horizon and feel transported to another time, another world. Not rushed, contemplative. Red Dead Redemption 2 is worth every cent because it isn't just about playing, it's about living something. It's cinema, it's poetry, it's a story told with sweat and blood. When the credits roll, you don't feel victory or defeat, just longing. Few games make the heart feel this heavy. That's why it's more than a classic, it's a masterpiece. Horizon Forbidden West is the future reimagined, with nature reclaiming whatever humanity left behind. Every vista looks like a living painting, metallic forests, sandstorms lighting up deserts, and ruins that hide the record of a forgotten world. It's stunning and dangerous, beautiful and deadly in equal measure. Exploring this world is hypnotic. Climbing mountains, diving into oceans, and taking on colossal machines creates a rhythm that blends tension and wonder. Combat is technical and almost tactical, demanding precision and constant reads on enemies. Every arrow, trap, and strike has purpose. Challenge and reward in perfect balance. The narrative digs into humanity and legacy. Between tribal wars and ancient tech secrets, the game shapes characters that mirror our arrogance. The contrast between primitive and advanced gives it a unique tone. Progress is both salvation and curse. It's science fiction with a soul. Horizon Forbidden West earns full price because it delivers more than spectacle, it delivers feeling. It's about courage, discovery, and purpose. Every battle, every conversation, every sunset reminds you the world is bigger than any of us. It doesn't just impress, it inspires. No discount substitutes that kind of impact. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the past rewritten by a team bold enough to challenge its own legend. From the start, it hooks you with emotion and mystery, blending familiar memories with new truths. Every scene hits differently, like the game knows what you expect and still manages to surprise. Nostalgia with intent, not a crutch. The open world is a constant spectacle. Forests whisper stories, winds talk across deserts, and cities feel alive. Side missions aren't errands, they're chapters that weave seamlessly into the whole. Everything moves with rhythm and emotion. Each place feels like a living piece of the universe. Combat is its own show. It fuses the weight of action with tactical smarts, turning every fight into a carefully choreographed dance. Swapping characters, syncing attacks, and timing abilities is pure pleasure. Bosses are cinematic, heart-pounding set pieces, intensity and technique in perfect harmony. Rebirth is worth every cent because it isn't just a continuation, it's a reconstruction of memory. It respects what came before, but has the courage to change and move you again. When the music rises and the story turns to poetry, you remember why this name still carries so much weight. It doesn't live off the past, it turns it into something new. Ghost of Tsushima is beauty and brutality in balance. From the opening minutes, its landscapes feel like paintings in motion. Wind guides your path, fields of flowers set the journey's rhythm, and silence matters as much as the clash of steel. It's a world breathing calm and violence at once. Combat is an exercise in focus and precision. Each duel tests patience and control. One mistake can be fatal. Switching stances, reading the enemy, and reacting at the exact moment creates a near-hypnotic flow. Fights aren't just battles, they're deadly dances, executed with a rare elegance. The story is deeply human. Between honor and revenge, the game builds a powerful inner conflict where right and wrong blur. Characters are complex, scarred, and doubtful, and every quest reflects that emotional weight. It's a journey about sacrifice and identity, told with uncommon sincerity. Ghost of Tsushima is worth it because it's more than a game, it's a full sensory and emotional experience. The beauty of the scenery, the weight of the blows, and the silence after a fight create something singular. It doesn't just impress, it touches. And when the wind blows at the end, you understand. Every second and every cent were well spent. Ghost of Yōtei feels born from a legend whispered by the fire, a Japan buried in snow, haunted by spirits and secrets the wind refuses to share. From the start, it hypnotizes with a blend of spirituality and brutality. Each step presses into the snow, each silence hints that something ancient is about to wake. Pure atmosphere. Combat is tense, swift, and full of character. Blades meet with the dry crack of steel, and every strike has weight, purpose, consequence. Enemies don't wait for mistakes, they hunt them. Dodges must be precise, parries instinctive. When it all clicks, every duel becomes a quiet spectacle of reflex and control. The world is as gorgeous as it is threatening. Frozen forests hide forgotten temples, ruined villages tell stories without words, and the mountain that gives the game its name looms like a sleeping god. Every scene looks hand-painted, every sound intentional. It's the kind of game that makes you stop just to watch and feel the place's weight. Ghost of Yōtei is worth full price because it's art meant to be felt. Introspection with a blade in hand, spirituality in the shape of snow. It makes you think not with words, but with silence. When the journey ends, the emptiness feels like waking from a beautiful dream. Old and new at the same time, and that's rare. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is pure fun at full throttle. From the first portal, it shows what PS5 can do, entire worlds flipping on the fly without a loading screen. It's wild. 1 minute you're in a neon metropolis, the next on a crystal-strewn planet. Everything happens fast and everything dazzles. Gameplay is an explosion of creativity. The weapons are ridiculous in the best way. Each one has personality, from turning enemies into plants to ripping holes in space. Swapping between them mid-chaos becomes a show of organized mayhem, packed with humor and style every second. Visually, it's a spectacle. Expressive characters, hyperactive environments, and particles bursting like fireworks in an intergalactic opera. Butter-smooth animation and DualSense feedback make it feel like a playable movie. And beneath the madness, there's heart, empathy, friendship, purpose. Rift Apart is worth the price because it reminds you why games are fun. It's pace, color, and emotions swirling into a whirlwind of creativity. You can't play without smiling, and when the last portal closes, all you want is one more ride. A game that justifies full price with the sheer joy of existing. Stellar Blade doesn't ask for your attention, it rips it away. From the first moment, its combat, visuals, and rhythm grab you like a living performance. Everything is calculated to perfection. The sword slicing through air, the sharp crack of a parry, the silence that follows. Each battle is a duel of reflex and grace. It's tough, gorgeous, and absolutely addictive. Combat is a masterclass in design, precise, punishing, and deeply rewarding. Mistakes become lessons, success becomes euphoria. Every fight trains you to be sharper, calmer, more focused. And once you sync with the rhythm, it becomes music, a ballet of strikes, dodges, and finishers that gets your heart racing. The sense of control borders on physical power. The world is haunting and captivating. Ruins of a lost civilization blend with creatures straight out of a biotechnological nightmare. Cold tones, winds that sound like morning, and a constant sense of loneliness fill the air, yet beauty seeps through every detail. The fallen city, the rippling water, the scars of the planet, everything begs for redemption. Stellar Blade is intensity shaped into a game. It doesn't just aim to impress, it wants to test you. It's about strength, faith, and focus. About getting up when everything pushes you down. When the final battle fades and the silence settles, it feels almost sacred. Few games are this demanding and this stunning all at once. Baldur's Gate 3 turns freedom into controlled chaos. It hands you the entire board and says, do whatever you want. And you do. Talk to ghosts, seduce demons, accidentally kill gods, and laugh as the world burns. It's Dungeons & Dragons Unleashed, with choices that genuinely matter. Nothing feels superficial. Every decision leaves marks that linger. Combat is addictive, strategic, tense, endlessly flexible. Each battle is a puzzle with infinite answers. Playing means thinking, improvising, and surrendering to the chaos. You craft stories without noticing the perfect plan gone wrong, the explosion that saves everything, the ally who betrays you mid-fight. Every run is your personal brand of epic disaster. What stands out most is the depth of its characters. Every companion carries a past, a wound, a moral dilemma you can feel. Your words shape futures, your gestures decide loyalties, and the world reacts with unnerving realism. It's like living inside a tabletop campaign where every action is an emotional dice roll. Baldur's Gate 3 is worth every cent because it offers something rare, total control and absolute responsibility. You are author and consequence. Every victory has meaning. Every failure tells a story. It's a game that makes you laugh, sweat, and think all at once. When it ends, you realize you didn't just play an RPG, you lived one. Metaphor, ReFantazio proves that Atlas still knows how to toy with the subconscious. It begins as a political fantasy and ends as a spiritual journey about fear, identity, and power. Every decision mirrors something deeper, and the world seems to be watching you back. Nothing is black and white. Everything hums in shades of doubt and consequence. It grips your mind more than your hands. The combat system is pure sophistication, a fusion of classic RPG tactics and modern flow that lets you craft absurdly creative strategies. Changing classes isn't just swapping skills, it's redefining who you are. Every battle becomes a reflection of your evolution, a duel between who you want to be and what the world demands. It's sharp, engaging, and deeply thoughtful. The world building is storytelling at its finest. Golden cities, kingdoms drowning in prejudice, and creatures embodying human fears weave a powerful political fable. Every moment drips with symbolism, from faith turned into control to people sacrificing identity just to belong. The art direction makes every frame feel like a dream balanced between beauty and tragedy. It's rare for a game to carry this much ambition and heart at once. It doesn't just aim to entertain, it wants you to think. By the end, when the last line fades, you realize you've lived a story about the weight of being human and the price of defying fate. It's Persona reimagined in a world where even hope bleeds. Diablo 4 is the most beautiful vision of hell ever crafted in gaming, a descent into rot that borders on poetic. The atmosphere is suffocating, the ground shifts beneath your feet, and danger never lets go. Every step in Sanctuary feels like a battle for survival, not just against demons, but against your own thirst for power. Combat is savage yet refined. Every class embodies destruction in a different way, and mastering their flow feels deliciously dark. The Necromancer conducts death like a symphony, the Barbarian turns rage into rhythm, and the Sorcerer shapes chaos into spectacle. Abilities mesh like gears in a demonic clockwork, every fight a choreographed massacre. But the true terror lies in the world itself. Everything breathes corruption, from broken villages to forests, whispering Lilith's name. Side stories aren't distractions, they're confessions. Tiny human tragedies that remind you even in hell there's still fear, pain, and choice. It's bleak, heavy, and irresistible. Diablo 4 delivers something beyond combat. It consumes you, it drains, seduces, and forces you to find beauty in the darkness. When the blood dries and the last enemy falls, what remains is silence, the kind that only faith and horror can share. It's chaos turned into art. Black myth, Wukong, feels like an ancient tale told by firelight, suddenly brought to life. Based on Journey to the West, it doesn't treat myth as history, it makes you live it. Every enemy is more than an obstacle, it's a symbol, a fragment of something spiritual. Each strike, each step, feels like part of a greater destiny. The combat is pure spectacle and precision. Each swing of the staff stretches, spins, and lands with weight that resonates. Dodges flow like survival dances, and transformations change everything. The game rewards patience and understanding, victory through balance, not brute force. The result is almost Zen chaos given form. The world is poetry in motion. Misty mountains, shattered temples, and golden forests filled with creatures both divine and terrifying. The art direction feels like Chinese painting made flesh. Bamboo, light, and shadow moving as one. Bells echo, gods roar, and wind hums through forgotten valleys. It's hauntingly sacred. Black myth is worth its price, not just for its beauty, but for its soul. It's punishing, spiritual, and demands reverence. Every death is a lesson, every victory transcendence. When the staff rests and silence returns, you realize you've just lived a myth reborn in fury and grace, a modern epic that honors the past while challenging the present. And that's the truth. Some games do prove full price is still worth it when what they give back goes far beyond visuals or hype. They stay with you, make you lose track of time, and remind you why we love video games in the first place. Now I want to hear from you. What's the last game that made every penny feel worth it? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to see your picks. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to help the channel grow, and ring that bell so you don't miss the next list. Oh, And if you're still in the mood, check out the video on screen. It's packed with more insane recommendations you don't want to miss. Thanks for watching, have an amazing session, and see you tomorrow.